Alright, so we're in Excel. I've basically just pasted all of those values from your assignment to the spreadsheet. And the first thing that we're going to do is calculate our mean. And our mean is the formula x bar equals the sum of the x sub I over n. And to do a sum in Excel, we're going to use that word. And I'm going to go to the cell below my shade Palisade and type in equals SUM sum, open parenthesis, and then you can either type this or you can click and drag, and I'm going to click and drag from F3 all the way down to F10, and then I'll close parentheses, and once I hit enter, that will give me the sum. Okay, so these are the sum of the x sub i's. I do that the same for the shade entire leaf, and I'll show you a little way to make this even faster. See that the little blue box? If you hover over it, it becomes a crosshairs that you can then drag over, and that copies that formula over for you, moving the column. So now we have the sum of E3 to E10, and that's what we need in that box there. The other way to do that is to go ahead and copy that box, and then you can paste it, and again it will copy the formula over. You want to double check and make sure that it has the values that you want in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to drag that one over to copy. Okay, so now we have our four sums. And our next step is divide by n. So to get n, yes, you can count by hand, but I'm going to give you the formula for that. The formula for that is a count. So I'm going to say equals count, open parenthesis, and again I'm going to click and drag so that it knows what numbers I want it to count. And so that is my n for the Palisade and entire for the shade. And then for the sun, I'm going to do the same thing. Equals count, open parenthesis, drag and drop. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to take our sum of our x sub I and divide that by the n for both the sun and the shade. And so I'm going to say that equals my sum of my x sub I divided by my n. That gives me the average for the entire leaf of the shade. Just making a small table here. So equals the sun, the sum divided by the n. Okay. And then I'm just going to drag that over. There's one thing that I have to do here, and that is when I dragged it, it dragged also where the n was located. So I'm just going to fix that, and rather than an I, that should be in the H column. So those are my means. Next we're going to calculate the standard deviation, and the standard deviation's formula is here. It's the sum of the x sub I minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to again use a formula.